Fettuccine Alfredo is one of those true comfort foods, but some of them can be over 1,000 calories per serving. And let's just be honest, that makes it a lot harder to fit into your macros if you're trying to be healthier or lose weight. Or alternatively, you might find some that are lower calories, but they give you tiny portions. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a large portion for 400 or less calories, depending on which ingredients you use, that packs in 40 to 46 grams of protein. This is the perfect recipe if you want that comfort food, but want to stick to your goals. I'm Amy and welcome to the 2X4 Wellness channel. Here you will find recipes just like this where you can eat big portions of food for low calories and high protein. All of my meals are around or under 400 calories and usually pack in the protein. So they're something that you can incorporate into your diet if you've got health or weight loss goals. These are the exact types of recipes that have helped me lose and keep off 40 pounds, and I'm so excited to share them with you. So let's go ahead and make this delicious fettuccine Alfredo. All right, so here are the base ingredients that we're going to use for a slightly lower protein version. By lower protein, it is still 40 grams of protein, so it's not that low. This is also a vegetarian option if that's something that fits your needs too. So this is one of my favorite pastas. So one of the reasons why this dish does get so high in protein and keeps the calories low is because we are using an edamame and mung bean fettuccine. And I happen to really like this brand just because they have a lot of different varieties in their noodles, and they have like a black bean one. This one's my favorite because it does have a lot higher protein than a lot of other options on the market. I'm sure you've probably seen different brands like maybe Banza, they have a chickpea pasta, but this actually has 24 grams of protein per serving, whereas a lot of the chickpea pastas or lentil pastas, I believe they have around 12, which obviously is still more than typical pasta. But this one is great because you can just use this with like some kind of other sauce, and it's already a great protein source. It also packs in 12 grams of fiber per serving. So that is pretty awesome too. And if you haven't seen my protein staples video, this is one of my favorites from that list. So definitely check it out if you want to look at more protein staples that I always have on hand. For the sauce, we are going to actually do a mix of Alfredo sauce and homemade. You can do totally homemade. You can also do all from a jar, but you will lose some of that protein because we're doing our homemade with some cottage cheese. I like doing a mix just to make sure I get that like real authentic Alfredo flavor, but I can increase the protein and kind of reduce the calories by doing a mix. So I will say, when you are getting Alfredo sauce, you should look at the labels because some of them are a lot higher in calories. This particular one is 45 calories for a quarter of a cup. I've seen some that are more than double the calories for the same amount. So just look at the label, don't just pick up a random one because it could completely change the macros of this recipe. So then we're also gonna be adding some cottage cheese to that, some garlic, and some Parmesan cheese. I've also added mozzarella into it, as well as those creamy spreadable wedges. So you can kind of play around with, different cheeses and different ingredients a little bit. We're also gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to this too. Then for our veggies, you have a few options. I happen to have broccoli and spinach, so those are the ones I'm gonna use. But I also really like adding hearts of palm pasta to this. That's another great way to really volumize this meal because a whole pack of that is like 80 calories for the entire pack. So it's like, 20 calories per serving because this is going to make 4 servings. Obviously, this also provides a lot of nutrients for you in addition to volumizing the meal. And if you want to get this up to 46 grams of protein or more, you can add some cubed chicken or shredded chicken. This is actually double the amount we're going to add. We're gonna add about half a cooked chicken breast to get to 46. But if you want, say 50 grams, use a full one. This is about 200 grams of chicken breast here. And if you haven't seen my video about so I actually have a ton of chicken breast prepped. I just prepare it in my Instant Pot. It's one of my favorite things to do to set myself up for success during the week. If you haven't seen my meal prep series using those chicken recipes, and I go into different methods that you can use to make this meal prep chicken, I will link that video in the description because I highly recommend it. Honestly, having prep proteins is a game changer for my week. It makes things so much more efficient. We can go ahead and start making this recipe. I've already started boiling water for the pasta so that we can be real efficient today. Let's jump into it. I'm gonna start with prepping the broccoli because, pro tip, anytime I add broccoli to pasta, I actually cook it with the pasta. Just the last 5 or so minutes, I put it in with the pasta. It just takes kind of one less step out of cooking. It makes it really, really efficient. And then the spinach, because it cooks so quickly, can just be added in when I add the Alfredo sauce to everything. So first things first, chopping up the broccoli into smaller pieces. And the amount that you add in is totally up to you. You know, it's great, obvious nutrients and adding volume to the food. Some people don't like to add a lot. I usually like to add a lot of veggies in my dish because they help keep you fuller longer and allow you to eat a much bigger portion size while keeping the calories low. So we've got these all ready so that they can be added to the pasta. All right, and our pasta is going in. And this boils for 5 to 7 minutes. I'm gonna put the broccoli in after about 2 minutes. And in goes our broccoli. This is about 2 cups. Our pasta and broccoli looks ready, so we can drain it. All right, time for the Alfredo sauce. So this is the ratio I'm going to use, but you can totally adjust it. Use more of this, use less of this, whatever you want. So I am going to use half a cup of this, which is 2 servings. Then we are going to use 1.5 cups of cottage cheese, about teaspoon, tablespoon, teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. I don't know, depends on how much you like the garlic to taste. And then for the Parmesan, a heaping 1/4 cup, which is 1 ounce is about a heaping 1/4 cup. And then we're also just gonna add some salt and pepper to this as well. I'm going to use this Blender Boss. I love this thing. It makes everything so darn smooth and it's so easy to use. So let's make this. Our Alfredo sauce, Parmesan, and of course the star of the show, our cottage cheese, of course our garlic, for all you garlic lovers out there. I forgot to mention we are gonna use a little bit of milk just to help this blend better. So about 1/8 of a cup. So let's blend. And a little pro tip, I actually added some milk to this and we're just gonna shake it up because there wasn't that much left. So might as well use it all. So this just helps get it out. I do the same thing with a tomato sauce if I have a broth or I use the pasta water or something. So just a, resourceful, eco-friendly hack, I guess. Okay, and this lid is so easy to put on. All right, so this thing is incredibly easy to use. So let's go ahead and put it on. And then we are going to do blend. And just like that, we have an incredibly easy, high protein Alfredo sauce. Oh, and if you haven't seen my, oh, it's so creamy. Perfectly blended. If you haven't seen my spaghetti squash Alfredo video, that is using a very similar recipe to this. It's so good. And that one's extra high volume because instead of pasta, it uses spaghetti squash. So highly recommend checking that one out. And if you're looking for more quick and easy dinners, I have some ebooks that have meals that are 30 minutes or less to make with 30 grams of protein or more. So I will link those as well below. Now I'm definitely ready to keep this recipe going, so let's go. And one of the things I love so much about this recipe is that it is a 1-pot meal. So you have a lot fewer dishes. And I'm gonna add my chicken to heat up too, and I ended up adding a little bit more than 100 grams just because 100 grams look like so little. And as this is heating up, you do just want to make sure that you stir occasionally and heat it on more of a low to medium low, because you don't want it to burn or separate. So just be cautious as it's heating up. The sauce is pretty hot now. You can see it's bubbling a little bit. So we are going to add in our spinach for the last bit of time before adding back in our pasta and broccoli. So this is about 2 cups, but again, to taste. Just gonna mix that up. And one of the things I love about spinach is it cooks so quickly. So all it needs is a minute or so. And our pasta. And we're just gonna obviously mix it all up until it is well combined and coated. Now for me, this dish has so much nostalgia because fettuccine Alfredo used to be my favorite food growing up. But like I mentioned, it doesn't quite fit into my calories the same way. And to be honest, I prefer something that is packed with micronutrients, protein, and fiber anyway. So let's go ahead and taste test this. Bon appetit. It's so good and packs in so much nutrients. Highly recommend giving this one a try. And if you love Alfredo, definitely check out my other recipe using a very similar sauce because it's absolutely delicious and gives you a massive portion. I thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already, please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe so that I can keep bringing you more healthy and delicious recipes that are high in protein and perfect for you to meet your goals. So thank you so much for being here and see you next time.